Imagine waking up one day and discovering that light no longer races across the universe at its familiar, unimaginable speed. Imagine a world where light crawls instead of flies, where shadows move slowly, mirrors lag behind reality, and the universe itself behaves in ways that feel almost magical. What if the speed of light was slower? Not a little slower, but dramatically slower. How would reality change? How would life change? And would the universe even be recognizable? This question may sound like science fiction, but it goes straight to the heart of how our universe works. The speed of light is not just a number. It is one of the deepest rules of reality, shaping space, time, matter, energy, and even causality itself. Change it, and you rewrite the universe from the ground up. Welcome to Information World. Right now, light travels at about 300,000 kilometers per second. That speed is so fast that it feels instant to us. When you flip a switch, the room lights up immediately. When you look at someone's face, you see it in real time. When the sun shines on Earth, its light takes about 8 minutes to reach us, but in daily life, that delay is invisible. But what if light were slow enough for us to notice? What if it moved at the speed of a bicycle, a car, or even a walking human? The first thing you would experience is a complete breakdown of what you call now. You would no longer see the present. You would always see the past. If the speed of light were much slower, looking at anything would be like looking into history. When you look at a person standing 5 meters away, you would be seeing how they looked moments ago. Conversations would become strange. You would hear a voice, but the facial expression matching that voice would arrive later. Eye contact would lose meaning. Social interaction would feel broken, delayed, and unsettling. Mirrors would become terrifying objects. Instead of instantly reflecting your movements, they would show you what you did seconds ago. Smile, and the mirror would smile back later. Move your hand, and the reflection would lag behind like a ghost trapped in time. You would be forced to confront the fact that vision is not direct reality, but delayed information. Shadows would no longer be static. They would drag behind objects like slow-moving creatures. A running person would leave behind a stretched shadow that slowly catches up. Fireworks would create expanding shells of light you could walk through. A camera flash would illuminate the room like a wave, sweeping across walls instead of lighting everything at once. But the visual weirdness would be the least of your problems. Physics itself would begin to collapse into something unfamiliar. The speed of light is not just about light. It is the maximum speed at which any information can travel. Cause and effect depend on it. If light were slower, reactions would be delayed everywhere. Pressing a button would not immediately activate a machine. Signals inside your phone would crawl through circuits. Computers would become painfully slow, even if their processors were perfect. Your own brain would struggle to function. Neurons communicate using electrical and chemical signals, and while they do not rely directly on light, they rely on electromagnetic forces that are fundamentally tied to the speed of light. A slower light speed would mean slower interactions at the atomic level. Thought itself might slow down. Reflexes would weaken. Consciousness could feel heavy, delayed, and fragmented. Now imagine the consequences for gravity. According to modern physics, gravity does not act instantly. Changes in gravity propagate at the speed of light. If the sun suddenly disappeared, Earth would continue orbiting for about 8 minutes before flying off into space. That delay is currently invisible to us. But if light were slower, gravity would be sluggish. Planets would wobble unpredictably. Orbits would become unstable. Stars would pull on each other with a delayed response, like dancers constantly missing the beat. Galaxies might never form properly. The universe could become a chaotic fog of matter, unable to organize itself into stars, planets, and life. Even worse, black holes would behave very differently. Their influence would spread slowly, giving nearby matter time to react, escape, or rearrange itself. The violent cosmic events we know today might become drawn-out, eerie processes instead of sudden catastrophes. Time itself would feel different. In our universe, time and space are linked through the speed of light. This is why time slows down at high speeds and in strong gravity. Lower the speed of light, and the structure of space-time changes. Relativity would become obvious in everyday life. Moving quickly across a room could noticeably distort time. Different parts of your body could experience time at slightly different rates. Synchronization would be impossible. Clocks would never truly agree. Communication across cities would feel like sending messages across centuries. Coordination would collapse. Societies would have to adapt to permanent delay. Language itself might evolve to include time uncertainty, with fewer assumptions about shared moments. Technology as we know it would not survive. The internet would be unusable. Satellite communication would be meaningless. GPS would fail completely. Even basic electronics depend on near-instant signal propagation. A slower light speed would force technology to become local, mechanical, and decentralized again. Civilization might resemble a strange blend of advanced materials and medieval pacing. But here is the most important question. Could life even exist? Chemistry depends on electromagnetic interactions. Atoms hold together because of forces that propagate at the speed of light. If that speed were much lower, atomic bonds could weaken or behave unpredictably. Molecules might not form the way they do now. Water, proteins, and DNA might be impossible. Life as we know it could vanish before it ever begins. If life did exist, it might look nothing like us. Slow metabolisms. Delayed reactions. Entire organisms evolving around lag, uncertainty, and memory rather than immediate response. Predators would struggle to hunt. Prey would struggle to escape. Evolution itself would slow down. The universe would feel older, heavier, and quieter. Stars would shine differently. Light from a star would take so long to escape that stars might appear dim, smeared, or even invisible until long after they form. Night skies would be distorted mosaics of ancient light shells drifting through space. Looking up at the stars would no longer be inspiring. It would be disorienting. And yet, there is something deeply poetic about this idea. A slower speed of light would force everything to confront delay. Nothing would be immediate. Nothing would be fully present. Reality itself would become a memory machine, always showing you what was, never what is. It would remind us that even now, in our universe, we never truly see the present. We already live in the past, just by a tiny, unnoticed amount. The speed of light hides that truth from us by being fast enough to feel instant. So why is the speed of light what it is? Physics does not yet have a complete answer. It is not chosen for convenience. It is not adjustable. It seems woven into the fabric of reality itself. Change it, and the universe either becomes unrecognizable or impossible. This suggests something profound. The universe is not just tuned for life. It is tuned for immediacy. For coherence. For a shared present. The speed of light allows stars to form, atoms to bond, minds to think, and moments to feel connected. If it were slower, reality might still exist, but meaning might not. And maybe that is the strangest thought of all. The speed of light is not just a limit. It is the reason the universe feels alive instead of delayed, connected instead of fragmented, meaningful instead of endlessly late. If you enjoyed this journey through a slower universe, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and support Information World for more mind-bending explorations of reality.